Nobody else finds that significant enough to call this thing off.
Hey, nobody else here was going around. Nobody else knows what the second is.
I'm good. What's going on, Gay?
So if I were to leave the middle piece this long, this is an inch long. The base would be
All right. See you later.
long, which is too much. Having this less than a half an inch, the base's still going to be over 50 inches. Because I got to add these to it.
Awesome.
Which is ridiculous too. Maybe I can go with like a quarter inch long.
That's weird. YouTube, like up in the top shows how many people are viewing, and all of a sudden it showed 1 and then it went to 0. What's going on, TNT?
So it'll be a 39-inch bait if I make the middle segment a quarter inch 39. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I just gotta cut this down inside.
My plans for the weekend are to move this entire rack to the garage. I was hoping I was going to be able to do that today, but my replacement for it goes into story time for the night. FedEx took my shipment over to like San Bernardino, and usually from there they'll start to head south, but this time they decided to take it north instead. And then they changed the delivery date to tomorrow.
So the only piece that I need to make a whole bunch of is the middle piece.
All right, TNT, have a good one. Sorry you have to work tomorrow. I hope it's not a miserable day.
Really need to do is just make a mold of this little piece. I'm trying to think of the best way to orient this piece. So when I pour it, the hole from the pouring is in the best spot. I think I'm gonna have to put it like that.
Man, I missed your live. I missed Ed's live. I missed like all sorts of videos today. I missed RK's live. I fell asleep on the couch after work, and so I took like a 4-hour nap. Oh, he went live for like 30 minutes, if that, to tell everybody that he was sick and wasn't going to go live. I did watch the video.
So, that way for that to set. More of these molds. Since I have 98 pieces to cast, just gonna cut the time that it takes to make this.
It's easy to miss. I mean, even when you hit the notification bell, which to me says I want to get notifications every time this channel or person uploads a new video, creates a new comment in their community, or goes live. But YouTube apparently sees that differently. I think maybe in their head they think you hit that notification bell and it means that sometimes you want to get a notification. What I've noticed when I only had like 5 or 6 people that I was hitting the notification bell on, I consistently got every single one. Now that I've got a lot more, I don't get as many. Hey, what's going on, Slash?
I'm gonna pour up some resin, mix up some resin, pour the mold, see how the blank turns out. I already got some glass microspheres in there to make it lighter. I'm thinking
Well,
0.2 ounce.
Hello, buddy.
Resin would do.
I've got new snakes to show off. Those are fun. That's always fun.
So if this piece turns out good, I'm gonna make another mold. And
Yeah, when I first hit my live, like I didn't notice that he was live, so I just went live. But normally I won't step on somebody else's toes. It wasn't until I pulled YouTube up on my phone that I saw that he was live, and at that point I was like, oh, too late.
So the first piece,
Yeah,
it turned out with just a little imperfection. There's a hole right there at the top. But
I just never remember what time he goes live.
So we're gonna try it.
Sweet.
And I'm pretty confident that it's gonna
And I have a delivery in 6 minutes. But let's there's not too many people here, but let's show off some little noodles. These yeah, I noticed that. I'm at 95 subscribers, which is really, really cool. I was hoping that I was going to be able to hit 100 subscribers for Pomona. And I think I'll really be able to do that. But you know, at the end of it all, I don't necessarily care too much about what my subscriber count is. I care more about the information that I'm putting out, that it's true and correct. You know, and so if I hit 100 subscribers 1,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers. It's all great. But you know, it's not like how I measure the success of my channel. But all of these little guys, and my lighting is really bad right now. I don't know how I can make it any better. But all of these guys that I'm going to show off are the new ones from the last TGH auction. Man, why? Let me put this guy away real quick and go grab a lamp and see if I can put a lamp right here to increase the light.
So it's time to paint the head and the tail part of this bait. It's a very simple paint job. Just white, black, and red.
Oh, I gotta replace this lamp too. Don't fall over. All right. Light any better? Maybe. Oh yeah. Light's a little better. All right. So let's turn into the light. All right. So what we've got is
it's been four days.
A beautiful GHI. And this is a male GHI. And the goal with this guy actually is to put him with this GHI, which is my female.
100% molding pieces of this bait. I'm hoping it's not going to take another 4 days. Hopefully it takes like 2 days.
No. With that, I mean, realistically, I'll get nothing but GHI. So I'll either have a GHI offspring or super GHI. You know, then once I have the super GHIs, then I can kind of go in and add some recessive genes into it. So over a couple of years, I'll get some pretty cool looking animals. Now, crazy thing with that snake. I mean, not really crazy. Drove me insane with FedEx, and I'm going to have to go outside here in a second. I've got a delivery that's almost here, but FedEx generally will, you know, come to my door and, you know, leave the box there, or if there's a signature required, they'll knock. I stayed home yesterday for the first part of the day to wait for this snake to show up, and FedEx never showed up. And then all of a sudden I got a notification that said it was delivered, and it was delivered to the leasing office. Now, if you remember, I was anal about my leasing office knowing I have these guys because they don't know that I have them. So I had to play that whole thing off. I think I did it well. I was like, oh man, they weren't even supposed to ship it to me. They were supposed to ship it directly to my nephew for his birthday and blah blah blah. I'll just have to take it up to him this weekend. So I haven't gotten an eviction notice, so I think they bought it. But I've got a delivery right outside, so I'll be right back.
These are all uninstalled settings. I think I'm at like 80, maybe I only have like 20 to go. I should be able to finish this today. Also, every time I get to one of the white pieces, that's the piece that I glue to the string. That way, along the length of this bait, once in a while there's a piece that's directly connected to the string. I think that really helps with keeping all the pieces where they need to be. Okay, I just need one more red ones. We're done. It took a long time. And the result is pretty weird. It feels like a snake. Like a dead snake. Super big. Super tough.
All right, I am back. Yep. I had to get the necessary Red Bull. All right, now which one? I want to show that one last. So let's just go. Let's go here. You crazy little thing. All right. Here. I love having it. Like, and now that I'm in California, I can actually use it. Like, I'm originally from Utah, and like when I went back for Christmas last year, I tried to use it at the hotel room, and it was like, no, sorry, you can't. So like we don't even have it everywhere here. But here we've got, let's get this third light turned on, maybe. The thing on it broke. Screw it. We'll make do somehow. All right, here we go. Maybe. So here we've got our fire het clown. And this is a female fire het clown. And the goal with her is eventually to go with this guy, which is also a fire het clown. So with that, I can definitely get the clown. Since both of them are 100% het for clown, then any of their offspring will be 66% het for clown if they aren't visual clowns. And then I have the possibility of hitting the Super Fire or the Super Fire Clown. So that's awesome. You ready to go back? Come on, bud. You see her? That's your girlfriend. One of the many. What do we have here? This one. Yeah. So yeah, basically like this guy here. You know, visually he's a normal. Nice, RK. You'll get there. You know, I mean it. Whoa. Hey. Feisty. Now, this one here is a male het pied. So I do have the. Stop it. You see this guy? Stop it. You need to behave. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. I might smack you on the nose. Yeah, the pied is in this guy. Feisty little bastard. And this one in the auction was kind of he's kind of a nightmare. I think once he settles in a little bit, he'll be much better, just like the spot nose.
Well, it looks like the snake bait could have worked better. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. This
is, I've had a few strike at me, RK, but I haven't had any of them actually bite me. I had one that came close, but I've got some crazy quick reflexes, so like I felt the tooth as I was pulling away, but that's about it. And I didn't get any skin break, no visual mark that I had just been bit, nothing. But so this one, so I had bid $60 for this one. And then I had $70 typed into the box in anticipation for anybody to bid $65. And that did eventually happen, but it was kind of crazy how it happened. So I bid $70. And I accidentally hit enter. So I had the my $60 bid. I upped it to $70 at the exact same moment. Shelly S did a $65 bid, and then a few seconds later, Leatherneck did a $70 bid. Now I do have an Enchi het pied male, so I didn't really need another het pied male, but I do like him, so I'll keep him. It's I'll try that sometime, Gay. I imagine I'll get bit eventually. I just try to not get bit as much as possible. I know that it doesn't really hurt. Like I've been bit a bunch of times, like growing up as a kid, by garter snakes out in the field and stuff. You know, honestly, I think like if you watch the video where I unleashed the the Woma spot nose, and like he was the same way. And now that come on, big guy. Right. So the Woma spot nose, now that he's settled in, like nothing. He's just a good little snake that will, just chill out and do his thing. And all it took was leaving him alone for a few days, getting him fed, and showing him that I'm really not going to hurt him. And he, since he settled down a little bit, I mean, he hasn't done so much as taken a strike. What's going on, Kentuckiana? We're showing the Woma spot nose right now. The feisty Woma spot nose that's not so feisty anymore. Huh, big guy? Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yep. 4 people watching. Yeah, I've been very, very blessed in that arena, Kentuckiana. Like all of the snakes that I've got that have any sort of like wobble pattern to it or wobble to it. So this guy and then like my spiders, none of them really currently show the signs of having the wobble. So I'm happy with that. There you go, big guy. And 8:57. You get to work at 7 a.m. and if you're off, you're not awake. Right at 9 o'clock here, basically 8:58. Let's go on to the next. I bought all my racks, RK. So this one here is an animal plastic rack. I absolutely freaking hate it. The one there is, I want to say, a sea serpent's rack. It's pretty good. The biggest thing with it that I've found is that it's got 12 quart tubs, and those are really, really hard to find if you want to get replacements or get extras. I finally found it, but there's a little bit of a gap at the top, which isn't normally a problem, but it's had some challenges. And then I've got that rack there, which is a Vivarium Electronics VE6 rack. And tomorrow I actually have another one of those Vivarium Electronics VE6 racks showing up to stack on top, which will actually get rid of that rack there completely. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna fill this whole wall, I think, with Vivarium Electronics racks, like super sturdy. They're enclosed sides and hold the heat really well. Every single shelf has a pre-drilled pre-drilled holes in the back for the thermostat probe to go through. They've got 4-inch heat tape. And then each rack also has a little groove in the rack itself to put the wire for the heat probe in, so that you don't have to like tape it down or anything like that. It's freaking, I love it. The biggest problem that I have with it is the top of it. For some reason, they decided to, and I get wanting to brand your product. For some reason, they decided to brand their product by engraving their name across basically the whole top. So it makes cleaning really difficult. All right. Anybody know what this is? This here is just a simple yellow belly. I don't necessarily I don't need or I didn't need this guy. But I got him anyway. And I say I didn't need him because I've got this yellow belly male here. I've got this yellow belly male here. I've got another yellow belly / gravel male in the other rack. And then I have a yellow belly / gravel female in the other rack as well. So I didn't necessarily need him, but he was like one of the first animals in the auction. So I threw out an opening bid of $40 and somebody took it. All right, big guy. All right, now we go for the Big Daddy. Can anyone any idea You are correct, Kentuckiana. That is a good 980 gram calico male. These ones are really, really simple to kind of pick out there, Gay. I mean, it's all in the sides. Like, well, Kentuckiana, you would not be wrong in that. What's going on, JLG? Honestly, I'm right there with you in believing that calico and sugar are the exact same gene. Now I am okay with calling them different, calico and sugar. But what I really think they're, really kind of like the TSK Xanthic and the VPI Xanthic is it's the same gene. It's just a different line of the gene. But these calicos are super easy to pick out, Gay. I can't actually wait until my other one uh, starts to get the calico fade going on because it is absolutely awesome. Here you go, buddy. Let me grab the other one. Right. So here's my female calico, and as you can see, she doesn't have really that fade happening just yet. Nice, JLG. How many tubs are you going to put within your rat JLG? Okay, so let's get Will here to educate us a little bit. So what are we looking at the tail? Okay, so this is a female calico. She doesn't have really any of the spotting going on like this guy. So what would we be looking at in the tail? Because it seems to be the same. Hey, Brittany. Okay, which she does have. And then towards the base of the tail, there was actually a long one that went along the side of her body. So, and Will, I'm actually really, really glad you're here right now because I have one more snake that I got in a delivery today, and it is definitely not what I paid for. And I'll explain the genetics a little bit. I do have to go into the bedroom real quick and grab the paper. All right, I got the paper. So the last one that I have to show is a female Pastavi. It definitely is not a Pastavi. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, either way, I am happy. I didn't really have a plan for the Pastavi female anyway. But if what I think it is correct, then I actually have some stuff that I could put her towards in the future. So she's a Pastave, but her mother is a Vanilla Scream, which is a pastel fire vanilla, I think. Yeah. So Vanilla Scream, so pastel fire vanilla, and then her dad is a Super Phantom. Right. So based off of that, you know that ADEA. Yeah, when I went live, I didn't realize that you were live at the same time. I normally wouldn't step on your toes or do any of that stuff. But by the time I realized it, it was too late. So I hope you have a good live, and thanks for stopping over. Exactly, right? And that's exactly what I already knew, Kentuckiana. So like there is absolutely zero way that that this snake that I got is a Pastavi. Now I paid $100 for it, so you know more market prices for a female Pastavi. You know, you could get one for like $120 or something like that. So I already underpaid for a Pastavi by a teeny tiny bit. But and this is why I think if you're going to breed, you should really know the genetics. So off of a Vanilla Scream and a Super Phantom, I could come up with only 4 things that you could potentially get, and that is a fire pastel Phantom, which is a Firefly Phantom, a pastel vanilla Phantom, a fire Phantom, or a vanilla Phantom. Because if the dad is a Super Phantom, then you immediately know that everything is going to have the Phantom gene. Now, what got passed in from mother is something of a little bit of a variable. So let's go ahead and pull this girl out. Come here, little one. All right. So, here she is in all of her wonderful glory. So let's see if we can get the camera to focus it all right now. So I started looking up pictures of these. I started looking up pictures of these online, and everything showed with pastel in it that there was like all the way up onto the back. There was a lot of blushing, which this does not have up onto the back. It does go fairly close, so I don't think that there's pastel in here. as for the head stamp, let's see if I can get her to hold still. No, I should not, Shelly, because at any rate, I know that it has the Phantom gene in it, and I can use the Phantom gene in a couple of the other projects that I've got, namely with my Mystic and Mojave stuff. So everything that I saw with the pastel gene in it, there was like the flames on the sides were pretty much pure white Kentuckiana. So I was actually leaning more towards the vanilla Phantom myself. So I think Will and I are in agreement that she is definitely Phantom and that she definitely has vanilla in her. Um, yeah, yeah. So, and I'll try to get some much better pictures, but like let's try to go in, try to get. And this camera is really really crappy anyway. I mean, I would expect it to be better, but I mean, I'll definitely try to get some better pictures of her. Um, and then ship them over to you, Will, and see if you think she actually has the pastel in her. As it stands, I think you and I are definitely both in agreement that she's at the very least a vanilla Phantom. Yeah, JLG, same. Yeah, like there's like every picture of a pastel Phantom that I saw, like all of this had tons of blushing all the way through it, and all up on the sides, it was pretty much instead of blushing, the flames were pretty much all white. Right. I think really right here is the only part, where it, comes up here. which is why I don't think that she has pastel in her, and that she's just simply a vanilla Phantom. So, Jelly, I don't know if you were here at the when I first pulled it out, but this is the from the TJH auction. This is the Pastavi. Honestly, I kind of hope that she doesn't have pastel in her, just because I have so much pastel in my collection already. Yeah. This is a snake morphology snake. So it was labeled as the Pastavi because he thought it looked just like a Pastavi, but it is absolutely, at the very least, a vanilla Phantom. Which actually I like even more. Yeah, so he gave me these little cards. So the female was a Vanilla Scream, which is a vanilla pastel fire, or a vanilla firefly. And then the dad was a super Phantom, right? So there's no way that it could be a Pastavi anyway. So at the very least, it's a vanilla Phantom, and with that, I'm happy because I could actually use the Phantom gene. I didn't have any plans for a pastel Mojave. Didn't know what I was going to do with her, but this one I can put with my Mystic. I can put with my Mojaves. So like the Phantom and a Mojave makes the what is it, like or well, I guess if it's a bell, I can't remember what's the Purple Passion. I have not heard anything about them, JLG. I have a snake on hold with TaylorMade. So far, TaylorMade has been really, really good. No problems. We're just waiting for the weather to pick up over on their side of the country to safely ship. Yeah, honestly, Darren over at TaylorMade is like really, really awesome. He every email that I've sent him, he comes back usually within just a couple of hours, and gives me all the information that I need. So really, really cool dude. You want to see the het pied, Shelly? No, I'll totally tell everybody what I picked up. So that's the het pied male that I won, Shelly, then Shelly won, and then let me have it. But from TaylorMade, Shelly, what I got is a female of this. That way I can get started with some pied stuff too. Chili. It's not a haircut, Shelly. It's just combed. Really? You're gonna get all vicious tonight too? You're getting some spots in. That's awesome. I actually kind of hope he proves out at some point. This guy obviously is a banana. He's a banana. You got what I mean? He's a banana Mojave, but he's 50% het for clown. So I'll likely throw him in with with the fire het clown 1 year and try to prove out his clown. They're awesome little snakes. Oh man, freaking Snake Art Morphology. They sent me a picture of a baby that they produced this year, and holy shit, like seriously freaking gorgeous. Like, I'm certain that it's going to be an expensive snake. if he's not keeping it. But if I would have had the money, I would have offered him like $500 for it right then and there. Quit being so jumpy. I think a lot of people went the ultra male path until Banana kind of really jumped on the scene. But I'm good. I'm good with ultra male and Banana. I like them both. Well, JLG, give me an ultra male female, and I'll put her with this Banana male, and we'll go. Where are you at, JLG? North Carolina. All right, I'll tell you what. How big is your ultra male? Okay, so this guy is obviously really, really small. But if you want to wait for him to get up to size, we can do kind of like basically a breeding collaboration. I'll send you my male to breed with your ultra male, and kind of we'll go from there. And then you can, of course, send him back. Well, I mean, obviously, it's going to be a few, at least 2 years before this guy's up to size. I mean, he's maybe 100 grams, so he's got a little bit of time. Let's see. Ultra male ball pythons for sale. I have a banana male already, so let's go to filters. Come on, filters, female, go. Sort by most expensive, because the most expensive is always the best. I might have to pick one of these up. I can actually reach out to Darren from TaylorMade. He's got a couple of ultra male females for $325. uh, different person, but already did. Honestly, Kentuckiana, like I've dealt with a few people, mostly from our YouTube community. So this is actually the first snake I'm buying off of Morph Market, and if everybody on Morph Market is as awesome as Darren is, like awesome, because seriously, like I send him an email and he responds back usually within about 2 hours, and so it's like we're waiting for the temperatures to rise over where he's at a little bit so that he feels comfortable shipping the snake. And so it had been a few days since I talked to him, and so I shipped him off a quick email the other day and was like, hey, just checking in, see how the weather's at, blah 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 blah. And within like an hour and a half, I had another email, and like it was pretty detailed. It's like, weather isn't looking too great within my 10-day. If you want to keep up with it, I'll be shipping from this zip code. And I'm looking for a day, Monday through Wednesday that hits above 40 degrees. Right. And so with that, like I would have no problem buying from TaylorMade in the past or in the future. Jelly, you weren't here. You weren't here earlier. I got my mail GHI in, and of course, FedEx delivered it. So pissed off at FedEx. I usually have people ship to my house, ship snakes out on Wednesday so that I can stay or that I can work from home on Thursday and receive the snake that way. And I try to do that so that if I get shipments from multiple people, then I only have to stay home one day and I get all of it. So FedEx, got it, and I did get the snake on the Thursday, but Thursday it was rainy here, and JRG, where I got the snake from, he shipped it with signature verification. FedEx didn't come to my apartment at all. They went directly to the leasing office and delivered the box that says live animal right to the leasing office. Yeah. Yeah, so as soon as I got that notification, I was like, damn you, FedEx, you only had one job, and that was to deliver it to my thing. Now, luckily, so I caught it, or I got to the leasing office before they could scan it into their system, so they don't actually have like a paper or hard record that they received this live animal, which is good. Good thing number one. I picked it up from them, and I was like, yeah, I saw that it got delivered here. It wasn't supposed to be, but It wasn't supposed to be, but whatever. Got the notification, figured I'd come pick it up because I'm sure you guys don't want this sitting around your office all day. And she just kind of laughed. She was like, "What's in it?" And I was like, "It's a harmless little snake." And then I went into, like my story, saying, it was supposed to be shipped over to, shipped directly to my nephew, but the shipper had, sent it to the wrong address. And so I'll just take it to him, blah, blah, blah. JLG, so my lease has very specific verbiage as regard to animals. So you can have 2 animals in your apartment, and an animal includes service animals, and then you also have to get permission prior to actually bringing them on site. So all of these, oh yeah, it's going to grow huge. So all of these, they know nothing about. Nah. No, I won't. I mean, it all depends on if they bought my story of taking it to my nephew. Honestly, the way that I hid them during that inspection was like beautiful. So like I took this rack here and put it in my closet down the side, and my closet's a little messy at the moment, otherwise I'd show you, but down the side, and then put like my ironing board in front of it, and then hung a bunch of clothes off to the side of it, like you couldn't see anything in it. And then this one I actually took and I put in the room by my desk, with the tubs facing the wall, and put my monitor, or put my my printer and all that stuff on it. Right there, I think there is something. No, so what eventually what I'm going to do, JLG, because legally they can't open any of my stuff. Right, and they can't force me to open any of my stuff either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of both of these racks, and I'm going to get more of these Vivarium electronics racks. So I actually have another one coming today, which will make this rack here obsolete. Then I just have to get a CB70 rack to make this one obsolete. And so that uses a little bit less space, but then I'm going to build. No, nobody can see into my apartment. Like my front door is right here. And there's nothing there. And then right on the other side, I do have a patio with a glass sliding door, but I've always got my blinds drawn. Oh, into the tubs. They can't come into my apartment unless I know about it. And if I know about it, then then this whole area actually gets completely cleaned out. Yeah, so what I'm eventually going to do, their JLG is, because I actually really like these Vivarium these Vivarium Electronics. Come on, these racks right here. I really like them. So I've got a second one coming tomorrow that makes this one obsolete, and then this whole rack will go out to the garage. But then eventually, what I'm going to build is essentially I'll get a big piece of wood, that comes out here and goes up. They can cover, the entire side of the enclosure. I'll build the top, have the same piece of wood coming all the way down this side, and then I'll build a door on the front. And I just realized you couldn't really see that. So I'll basically be building a box. Well, actually, very similar to this whole thing. Where it's fully enclosed, nice-ish kind of wood, and then has a door on the front of it. But the door will either be removable, or I'll be able to like slide it into place. That way they can't legally, go in. So I do have the plan, I'm waiting before I build it for the VE6 rack. I'm waiting to get the second one in so that I can build. Yes, Herbert's Hollow Road. That is exactly what it is. I'll put in a gag fart smelly thing right in front of the door, so that anytime they come in, they just get misted with the fart smell. Problem solved. But yeah, thankfully that other rack will be coming, and I'll be able to getting rid of that rack today. Honestly, do you know what, Shelly? I would totally be okay with that. Even if it happened, there's nothing that they could do about it. Yeah, JLG, you're right. Legally, they can't open them up. For the VE6 racks, like what? Let's go reptilebasics.com. Products, rack systems and tubs. So like all of their, like these are the 11 quart tubs. So they're like 22.44 inches long, 4.25 inches tall, and 7.36 inches wide. I haven't been able to find anything else that kind of fits. Shelly, it's totally a trap. And I ordered you food tonight, Shelly. Like, it will be here. I mean, it'll totally be good. I think it's sitting on the counter in the kitchen right now. Right. So, you know, my problem with ARS racks isn't the rack itself or the tubs or anything like that. It's the freaking price. Now let's go to the. I mean, yeah, it's they're taller. So like what the ARS 1075, which is probably equivalent of this VE6 rack, although several of the VE6 racks is like $3,000, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gosh, I forgot this computer is touch screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh man, that's like the whole thing is taller than me too. Oh, that's a hatchling. Five-inch heat panels. Right. I think, yeah. I don't know if I would do ARS stuff. Yeah, honestly, I don't think that these VE racks will degrade really at all. Like they're really, really well built. Unlike the animal plastics and then the sea serpents rack, like both of these are just kind of really utter crap. But I think I would probably go with like an ARS rack or something if I get a second facility, because at that point, it's okay. It's okay to look a little more industrial, but right here in my dining room, I don't really want it to look industrial. But and that is why I will happily buy racks all day long for the snakes. For the rats, however, and why did you just come on? For the racks, however, or for the rats, I bought the 2 racks that I've currently got, but I will not buy another rack. In fact, I need to actually build a couple of racks, which I'm planning on doing at some point soon-ish. I get you, JLG. Like honestly, wait, let me. When I first unveiled the VE6 rack, I did this. Now, I am not a light person. I am quite heavy. Now, this rack would be demolished. Right? This rack, I can stand up on just fine and, kind of do the twist and shout and, I'm good. No, I'm like 230 pounds, JLG. Like, that's a pretty damn good rack. It is short. Let me see if I can find my tape measure. I thought I had it just the other day. Not on the coffee table. Okay, got the tape measure. So the entire rack is about 32 inches deep. 16 and a half inches wide. And 30 inches tall. I did think you mean the racks. I mean, why would you ask me how tall I am? Yeah, JRG, she is always super curious. Absolutely. This JLG indeed does have pastel in it. And happens to have fire in it as well, which makes her a beautiful firefly. Good job, RK. Yeah, being this is Firefly, my mom actually named this one for me, so her name is Bug. But she is always super curious and just wants to get out of her tub. That's another thing I like about these VE6 racks. Herpers is like the one rack. Like I've got the 11 quart tubs in it right now. So the one rack can be a hatchling rack or the juvenile rack, where each shelf can have anywhere from 1 to 3 tubs on it, depending on what you've got going on there, which I really, really like. And then the CB70s, not so much as much of a variable there, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, like I'm I'm a massive 5'6" to 5'7" ish. It doesn't say much about my family, but I am the tallest person in it. Yes, yes, it was. Uh, Reagan's mom is legally a midget. No, no. Yeah, 5'6" is not really midget, but it's not tall either. Unless you're my mom, then I'm like a giant. Good Lord, Herpers. I think like my mom is like 4'9". My dad was like 5'2". My older brother was like 5'4". My sister's right at around 5'4", and I'm 5'6" to 5'7". Boo. JLG. I got my first 4 from a guy on Craigslist. He was selling feeder rats, and so I bought 3 females and 1 male from him. Let him know that I was beginning a breeding program, and so he gave me exactly what I wanted. I paid like $40 for them, so they were a little expensive, but definitely worth it in the long run. I need to get more tattoos.
What do you like soaking?
I only have 1. I need to get more. I would never get my face tattooed. They say that dolphins are the second smartest mammals on the planet, but I've never seen a dolphin with a face tattoo. Well, that's simple. Not sure, JLG. What you did there? I see it. I do. I'm funny AF. Can you please explain to me exactly what an AF is? Because it's not an acronym. Because acronyms usually have dots in between the letters. So this would imply that an AF is an actual thing. No, Shelley, no. Oh, so it is an acronym. It's missing the period. Right, Jelly? Shocker. You're right. Mountain Dew is better if you have no taste buds.
Here, little buddy.
The truth hurts. You're a little sweetheart, aren't you? Okay. How much is Lucy? Nice. She's almost there. I'm not making you think anything, Shelley. You are deciding to think mean thoughts. Do you have any plans for her when she gets up to size? Nice, Herpers. Charlie's ready to rock and roll now. Pewter fire bees, that'd be nice. I'm right there with you, JLG. Like I have two that are up to size and I got them that way. We gotta soak you. I mean, you have to keep at least one of them for yourself, Reverse. Honestly, so I got a deal. I got a deal, Reverse. So this entire rack with her, the pastel lesser, and her, the pastel, or I think with them bringing it to the house, I paid like $320 or something like that. Chrissy is a pastel lesser. Yeah, she is absolutely beautiful. Bright white belly. And she's a little sweetheart, aren't you? Um, she's she's gotta be she's gotta be close to 3 years old at least. But I don't know how old she is specifically. I got her this size. Herpers, I'm actually working on fireflies myself. So the pastel lesser, I have pairing this year with my fire. So I've got the pastel lesser pairing with my fire. So I'm hoping I get some like lesser fireflies and the like. JLG, I mean, if I don't take care of them, they do. And you're going to get a little bit of a smell from them no matter what. But I just make sure that I clean out their tubs every single Saturday. And that really cuts down on the smell quite a bit. Yeah, and I can see them too. So JLG, you said you're building a rack, and it's going to be 4 high. What's going on, RK? Are you doing are you doing any are you just doing the 4 tubs, or are you going to do like wide too, so like 4 high 2 wide, or what? Okay. How many snakes do you have, JLG? Okay. So even with that, I mean, it's probably going to be, it might actually be cheaper just to buy your food, depending on, where you're at and, all that stuff, because that does vary. But if you do really want to breed, what I would suggest is, me neither, Herpers. I've got that super fire. I've got like that super fire Kush. I actually have no clue what line of fire mine is. But so what you're going to want to do, JLG, especially as your snake count increases, you want to make sure that your rat breeding can always, you can pretty much always have babies. So I'm actually reorganizing kind of how I do mine as well, for this specific reason, right? So the gestation period of a female rat is about 28 days, right? So from the time that she's pregnant to the time that she gives birth is about 28 days. So like my tubs aren't giant; they're pretty small. So I put 2 females in each tub, right? And so I'll do at the very top. So I've got 6, my rack is 6 high. And I'm working on building that 10-week cycle. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which is perfect. So I've got a 10-week cycle, right? So I've got the top tub with all my males in it, which right now is 4 males. I need to get some off because I don't need that many. Or I need to build another rack, is what I really need to do. So I've got my top one with all males. And so then I have 5 tubs with all females in them. And so what I'm doing is that top tub, I'm putting a male in with them for 2 weeks. Once that 2 weeks is done, then I'll take that male out and put it in the tub just under it for 2 weeks. And then put it in the tub under it for 2 weeks, and so on down the road until it hits the bottom. Right now, what that does, remember that their gestation period is 28 days, so basically a month. So by the time you get from the top tub, by the time you get down to the third one, those are going to be having babies. And then when you get down, the next ones are going to be having babies. And then you put your male back up, and then your other ones are going to start having babies. And you basically, when you really get it going at every single week, you could realistically, especially if you have like 5 high, 2 wide of females, you could realistically get it to where every single week you have babies being born, which will mean that every time you have to feed your snakes, you always have a rat in the proper size for your snake. I like 5 levels. Honestly, if I could get rid of my top level, I would. And like when I build my next rack, I'm actually going to build it. I'm going to build it 5 high and 2 wide, and just kind of go on from there. And I didn't really expand it, or I didn't really explain it as well as another video did. If you don't watch Matt from Olympus Reptiles, go watch his channel. There's a video that Kurt did just recently where they were helping their friend set up their rat room or whatever, where he really explains the whole 10-week cycle, like down to a T. Nice. So like as soon as I watched that video, I was like, I am doing this all wrong. Like I've got 5 rows of females and I have 4 males. So I'm like a male there, a male there, a male there, a male there. So eventually, essentially 1 time a month, I've been having babies, and they're always at the same amount, so it just, let me kind of show you the difference just a little bit. Let's see if we can not lose a rat in the house this time. All right, so here we have a little baby male. Wow. Yeah, so here we have a little baby male, He is not weaned yet, so he's only about 3 weeks old. This one here is about 2 weeks older. So that's a small rat. Getting up to a medium size. So this one's about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks now. This one is like 5 to 6 weeks. And then at 8 weeks, they actually become sexually mature to where they could in fact breed. Although it's not, I wouldn't let them personally. So you'll be looking right at about probably 10 or 11 weeks for a medium rat. No, she definitely pooped on the floor. And if you get to the point where you're like me, you like, I like being able to like hold the babies that I've got as well as the moms. Like I have one of the moms, in fact, his mom, I was literally able to handle her babies while she was giving birth. Which in rats is unheard of. But I like being able to do that personally. And so one thing that rats will do, and you kind of just have to get used to it, is as you handle them, you'll start to feel little wet marks on your hands and your arms and stuff like that. And that's because what they're doing is just like a dog marks its territory, is they are marking you as theirs. Ah. Honestly, JLG, I urge you to. I mean, you don't have to handle them much, you know, like I don't really handle mine a whole lot. But I urge you to, because then if they're used to like your hand going into their tub, if they're used to you picking them up, stuff like that, then when they do start having babies, you put your hand in their tub, they're not going to be as defensive with you. So you're less likely to get bit. A couple of them do, yeah. Right. So I kind of showed in yesterday's live. Let me go grab one of my adult females. So this is one of my adult females, and she's got a little litter right now. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl, aren't you? Yep. But you can test their temperament by holding them by the the scruff of the neck. And if they stay like this, they're usually pretty nice and pretty tame from my experience. And you can pretty much just do whatever you want. All right, see you later, Shelly. I hope nobody dies. Yeah, the first time, let me grab the one that actually does it to me all the time. So that is Miss Penelope, and she's actually currently in. Hey, Reagan. She is currently in a tub with a male, so she'll be pregnant and giving birth within about a month. But she gives me the play nibbles all the time. Hey, Stevie, what's going on? I have a Red Bull somewhere. There it is. Do you want a Red Bull, Penelope? Do you want Red Bull? No, you don't want Red Bull? All right, JLG. I kind of showed. You can test the temperament of your rat by holding them by the scruff of the neck like this. If they wiggle like that, you've got some work to do. If they kind of stay like she is right now, she's usually pretty. They're usually pretty good. And I've got a better one that is like super tame. Let me grab her. So JLG, you've got that like that, like crazy tame this one. Coincidentally, this is the one that I was able to handle her babies while she was giving birth. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Also, JLG, remember that the average size of a rat's litter is about like 9. Hey, Theory. Like she actually had 12. She has 4 right now, and the rest of them I've already fed off. So you may want some want 1 or 2 tubs for like grow out tubs as well. I mean, you don't have to worry about that, you know, for a little while, but something to keep in mind anyway. That way, if they get to the point where they're like 6 to 8 weeks old, or about 8 weeks old, you kind of want to separate the males from the females at that point, because otherwise they'll start breeding as well, and then big problem. And by taking the babies away from their mothers, at that point, you can then restart your 10-week cycle on that tub. Not much. What's going on, Maniac? Good to hear. Good to hear. Hey, Theory, I got the coolest snake today. Nice, Maniac. JLG's kind of doing basically the same thing. He got his tub in, measured it all out, drew up his plans, and he's going to get lumber. So I need to build a couple of racks myself, which means I need to find somebody that'll bring me wood. Not owning a car or a truck is a pain in the butt. Not wanting to spend the money so you can own a car or a truck is great. I love this shirt, Theory. So, Theory, you were present at the TGH auction, yeah? Yes, it is way too true. Okay, so the snake morphology snakes. You were there when I won the Pastavi, yeah? So there she is. However, this is not a Pastavi. He gave me this little card with the pairing. No way whatsoever is this a Pastavi. So the female, the mother, was a vanilla scream. So a vanilla pastel fire or a vanilla firefly. And the father was a super phantom, which means that she definitely has phantom in her. And the rest of her awesome coloring is vanilla. So I have a vanilla Phantom. Right? Yeah. I mean, I paid $100 for a Pastavi. Um, I didn't need a Pastavi. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But Phantom, however, I can put that with a couple of things. Like I've got my Mystic Mail, for example. I've got Mojave stuff going on, so um, I can I can use Pastavi or Phantom. Yes, indeed, indeed. Honestly, theory, I have no clue. When I talked to him, like when I got her and I looked at her, I was like, there is no way that that is a Pastavi. Like, absolutely not. And he, so I asked him that question. He was like, I don't know, but she looks exactly like a Pastavi to me. Maybe my Super Phantom has Mojave in it. I'm like, whatever, but yeah, there's no way, no how that that is a Pastavi or has anything to do with the Mojave gene, really, in it. Because, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a little discussion earlier going on the live that that Kentuckiana said that she had pastel in her, but based off of pictures and pictures alone that I found on the interwebs, um, I I figured that she was a vanilla Phantom. I didn't believe that she had any pastel in her at all. Absolutely. I mean, you expect a Pastavi and get a vanilla Phantom. You don't complain. I actually have it right now. Okay, you've got those. Okay. What are the dimensions of the tub? 25, 25 by 36. So let me go measure mine because I have no clue. Where did I just put the tape measure? There it is. 21, 21 deep. Okay, so mine are 21 deep by about 16 wide. So you're looking at about 24 wide and 36 deep. So you might actually be able to fit, if they really get along, you might be able to fit 3 females for each rack. That's what I thought too, Theory. And then where the black is up on the dorsal, every picture that I saw, every picture that I saw was the blushing was like all throughout the entire dorsal, which she is missing completely, which led me to believe that she didn't have the pastel. See if I can. JLG, that's awesome. Honestly, JLG, that's kind of how I am too. I mean, hello, my collection, go big or go home. Twelve, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Yeah, I've got sitting here now, I've got 28 snakes. No, I don't think I'll be doing that, Theory. You can, however, come to San Diego and take a look at her in person. That's because San Diego is the best place to be, or California in general, rather. I mean, heck, even Reagan's from here. Dave and Logan from IDR are also from here. Brian Cusco is from here. Who else is from here? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Theory, you don't have to walk the whole way. See, that's one thing where you guys actually have a leg up. Like I'm trying to think of any big breeders that are out here, and I can't really think of any. Eventually, maybe. I mean, let's put it this way. I might not be first, but I'll be the best. You were right, Theory. Some smaller breeders do produce amazing stuff. Is it my home? JLG, I mean, realistically, doing multiple recessives, is simple if you really think about it. Yeah. Right? Like you can do, let's say you do like an albino to a clown, for example. I think I can figure this out to be fairly simple. Right, so you take like an albino to a clown, breed them together, and you immediately have a two recessive het. a 2 recessive het that's 100%. You breed those together, and you're either going to get an albino clown, or you have that potential to get an albino clown. And then you take, if you do get that like albino clown, you take that albino clown and pair it with an albino pied. Although, would you really need the albino in the pied side? But if you breed 2 albinos, Reagan, then you have a chance of you're either going to produce an albino, or you're going to produce 100% het for albino. Not necessarily JLG. I think from 2 albinos you can make a normal that's het albino. Run it through my handy dandy systems. Nope, you're right. Everything is albino. Whoa. So yeah, if you take an albino clown and breed it to a pied, then you immediately have a 3 gene 100% het animal. So pretty simple. Yes, yes, JLG, that is correct. I think what if we've got a het albino, het clown, het pied, to a het albino, het clown, het pied. We've got, what do we got? We've got a 14%. I mean, we've got a 14% chance of hitting albino, 14% chance of hitting pied, 14% chance of hitting clown, and a 2% chance, so 1 in 64, were an albino clown piebald. You've got 3 in 64, so 5% chance for hitting a 2 combo. Impossible? No. Fun to try? Absolutely. Okay, so I have my past. Let's see. Oh, I don't have. Ooh, wait. Oh crap! That's always going to be a Mojave, though. Okay, I do have some het clown, some het pied, and het albino stuff, but they have other stuff in with them. I'm gonna make this. I am absolutely going to make this 3 het animals and just keep them all and try to produce that 2% chance. So I think what I'll do maybe is I'll get 2 of each, but opposite sexes, and plan it out and get it down. That way I've got more eggs to deal with. So let's figure if I breed. Ooh, I have to get some normals too. If I breed an albino and a pied together, everything is going to be 100% het albino pied. So figure if I get a male and a female of both of those, that means I've got the potential for 2 clutches, and if they both have 4 eggs each, let's be modest here, 4 eggs each, that's 8 total eggs. Let's say 6 of those survive, so that's another 6 that are 100% albino pied together, and then all I have to deal with is the clown side, breeding that to a normal to get 100% hets for clowns, and then I can take those babies, breed them together. Actually, I would need to produce. Well, yeah, they'd be clowns, so they would all be 100% het for clown. I'm gonna get this. Puzzle's only $2,500 now. Yes, Stevie. Cherry Bomb is a beautiful snake. I've got the makings for the Cherry Bomb. We've talked about that already. Theory, you're just a lot closer. Welcome back, Shelly. You and me both, Maniac. Yeah, that is true. I'm hoping that my two females lay eggs this year, which will be the first clutch I've had. Which if I do get it, I'll have off of one clutch there'll be pastel yellow bellies, and then off of the other one being pastel lesser, being the female, and then my fire het clown. So everything will be 66% het for clown. I got the fridge. I just haven't ordered the heat tape or anything yet, Shelly. Theory, I agree. And honestly, the only reason why I've gotten to be able to breed this year is, or potentially breed this year, is kind of luck of the draw of certain events happening that have gotten me some adult snakes, but I didn't like go out and look specifically for adult snakes. What up, Slash? Yeah, I get you, Theory. But I also think, right? I think you get, a lot of enjoyment about taking something from this and turning it into this. Now, those are two different snakes, so I'm only using them as size comparisons. Because obviously the Super Mojave will never be a calico. Yes. I mean, JLG, can I get like the puzzle and like 100 grand? I mean, for real. I mean, there's 7 people in the chat, so I think our lottery out here is like what? It's up to like 180 million or something right now. Um, it was up to close to like 300 million, some crap like that, and then somebody won it all. They really do. But if you're smart with it, Shelly, you can get away with doing a lot of that stuff, right? So, like if I ever won the lottery, I would set up a claim trust, to actually claim the lottery. I'd let it sit in the claim trust for about a year, and that's more so that when people go and look up who won the lottery, I'm not listed as the person who is um, that won the lottery. Um, so let it sit there for about a year and a half, and then set up a bridge trust, and that's actually how I would get the money. But I would do it in uh, so going from trust to trust, there's no taxes or anything like that. And while it's in the trust, you don't pay any taxes on it. Um, and so from once it's in the trust, you do like equal monthly payments, and it becomes like an additional paycheck. And so you reduce your tax liability maybe by a little bit, but not by much. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they definitely bend you over. Like I think I'm paying what? Like I get paid every single Thursday, and every single Thursday, both state and federal taxes, I'm paying like what, like $600 a week in taxes. It's freaking outrageously insane. Um, but figure, even like if I do another a paycheck out of the bridge trust, at like $2,000 a week, I'll be looking at like 1,700 of that. That's federal and state too for the 600, Shelley. Yeah, so figure at 2 grand, I'd be looking at if I do a secondary paycheck of 2 grand, then out of or 2 grand a week. So we're looking at another 8 grand a month. It's nothing major, off of the bridge trust. Then just off that alone, I'd be looking at build or doing like what? I'd be getting like $1,400 a week after they take their taxes. There's actually a maniac. There's actually why? Because of the gaming chair. I used to game a lot. Um, I used to play Eve Online. Have you ever run into a person ever um, with this name? That is me. I also have, I don't remember all their names, but I've got 16 other characters. Oh, yeah, and I haven't played in several years. But my whole character's name got me shot at a lot, but it was fun. Um, my brother-in-law's username or character name was that right there, which if you read it out says, "Why am I killing you?" And so I made my character name a rebuttal to that, saying, "You can't kill me." Good night, Stevie. Has it died? Honestly, I left um, when they added in the station walking, and they did it in such a horrible way that it was a fantastic failure, to the point that my overpowered machine couldn't handle Eve anymore, and I I walked away after that. Like, I haven't really done any Fortnite. I do have a PlayStation 4 over here, um, that I play a little bit of a few things on. Right now, I'm on Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is pretty fun, Stevie. I haven't beat it yet, but I imagine I'm relatively close. Mainly because my Arthur is about to die of TB. I don't think the PC version, the Xbox version, and the PS4 version can like co-communicate. I played it a few times, JLG, on the PS4 and just got demolished by little kids. So what did I do? I found out where they lived and demolished them in real life. Not really. Oh, theory. Oh, oh. Some of you guys remember this, but wasn't life so much easier when apples and blackberries were just fruit? Honestly, I think the world has been ruined by technology, and you're welcome for that. For real, Maniac. I remember like when I was a kid growing up, the way that I knew that it was time to go home was it was dark outside. JLG. And for that, you are welcome, Stevie. People like me are trying to make your life easier by making you obsolete. And I can't show you because come on, Flash. There it goes. It's dead. You should still climb a tree, Reagan. Needs to happen one day. Yep, that is why I moved to California. The theory. I oh, your scooter must be at the same place my scooter is. I've been waiting for it to come back home for like 25 years. Let me go check. No scooter, but I did find this pizza. I told you, I ordered you food. It's in the kitchen. You just have to come get it. All right. See y'all. See you later, Maniac. I'm about to do the same thing. Been on here for 3 hours. Reagan, that actually makes a lot of sense. Problem with a lot of parents these days, Reagan, is they're overly paranoid. About a lot of things. So like where people my age, which are the parents of people your age, when we were growing up, we were outside and running and, playing and falling down and getting hurt and climbing trees and jumping off roofs and, all that sort of stuff. At least that's what we did. Going out into the field and catching snakes and, going out boating and, all that sort of stuff. And now those same people that were doing all those things think that all those things are too dangerous to do. And as a result, I think a lot of parents are, really sheltering their kids, which we result in, the problems of having safe spaces and all that sort of stuff. Well, of course, the world's a whole different place now, Theory. I mean, well, that I can also understand, Reagan. But I can guarantee you, if something like that happened, you have a whole crap ton of people that would be out looking for you. But the goal is to not have that happen. Um, so afraid you'll get kidnapped, I also think is maybe a little bit of a cop out. Oh, absolutely did, Theory. I grew up in the Mormon state. Like, that's like what half of the people there are. Oh, Theory. That totally makes sense, Reagan. And I think as a parent, she's going to do what she thinks is best. Um, and I think like riding your bike and all that stuff is I think every kid needs to do all that stuff. But in today's world, um, I can also see where, especially where the age where you're at. I was a little older when I was running off, and when I was your age, I was running off with my older brother or sister. Um, so I always had somebody that was older than me, um, kind of watching out for me. Um, so absolutely, Reagan. I would. What's going on, DEA? What's going on, Slash? Yeah, and I completely agree with that theory. A little bit of supervision without being like a helicopter parent, I think is like beautiful. Doing all right, doing all right. After almost 3.5 hours on here, about ready to shut it down and go to bed. For real, it's almost midnight here, Andy. It's got to be like 2, 3. Slash, I sleep like a baby. This is since in the last 3 hours, this is the third one. Yeah, it says up here at the top, it says unlock Red Bull Maze in Pac-Man app with code under tab. Oh, and there really is a code under the tab. You can't really see it. Stevie, I mean, that can be, you look at people my age or people older than me, and you have the same thing. There are, there are, there are people that are that way that, really care about nobody but themselves, forever. No, they do not. It is only these Taste Teaser 12-ounce cans. I tried to get people, or one of my rats, to drink some Red Bull. She wouldn't do it. No, I mean, this Pac-Man app says app available on major mobile app stores. So probably not the Switch. And then your dog died of a heart attack? I'm good, Shelly. Well, Reagan, I think that's okay. I mean, they're not healthy. These are definitely like very addictive. JLG, hold up. Oh, let me show you. Okay. 12-ounce can, 12-ounce can, 20-ounce can, 20-ounce can, 20-ounce can, 12-ounce can. This is all today. I've been this way for the better part of 10 years. Shelly, honestly, Like, skip the Red Bull Anonymous and just help me get a brand deal. Yeah, see, that's a little sheltered for my taste, Reagan. But your mom knows what's best for you. Um, in the 12-ounce can, there's 39 grams of sugar. And then in the 20-ounce can, here's hold up. Here's the crazy thing. Okay, so in this, there are 2.5 servings. In this, there are 1 serving. Right? So 12-ounce versus 20-ounce. 1 serving, 2.5 servings. According to their information here. So in this, there are 160 calories per serving. In this, the 20-ounce can, there are 110 per serving. So there's actually, in the 20-ounce can, there's actually less calories in the 20-ounce can than there are in the 12-ounce can. There's 0 fat in both of them. Sodium in the 12-ounce can, there's 150 milligrams of sodium. In the 20-ounce can, there's 100 milligrams of sodium per serving, which is, again, 1 serving, 2.5 servings. This has 150 milligrams. This one has 150 milligrams of sodium in its 1 serving, and this one has 100 milligrams of sodium in 1 serving. Total carbs, 40 grams, 27 grams. Total sugars, 39 grams, 26 grams. Protein, both less than 1 gram. This one has 140% niacin. This one has 100% niacin. This one has 360% of vitamin B6. This has 250% of vitamin B6. This one has 120% of vitamin B12, and this one is 80% of vitamin B12. And this one is 70% of pantothenic acid, and this one is 50% of pantothenic acid. So basically, when I drink the 20-ounce ones, I'm actually being healthier. Who drinks water in between beer? That's just gross and wrong. I'm Irish. I don't have hangovers. I agree, Shelley, and I'm weaning myself off little bit by little bit. Um, but I'll tell you, so being Irish, I was basically born to do one thing, and that is drink. Um, so I became a pretty bad alcoholic for a long time, to where I was basically always drunk. Um, so I will take an addiction to these over the alcoholism every day of the week. Which is why I say really about um, it's been the better half of like 8, 10 years, because I've been clean and sober off alcohol for about 9 years now, um, and have been drinking these. It didn't start off as an addiction, but oh boy, it sure turned into it. Now I just need to get keep on going further and get these guys. I like to cook with alcohol though. But when I do that, I go and I'll go to like the liquor store and I'll buy like the little shots of alcohol, so that I just have enough to cook with. Now, when you say you hardly drink, Shelly, do what you really mean is, I hardly drink, I just guzzle. that that was me. I had two sayings when I was a heavy drinker, about proving that I'm not an alcoholic. One of those sayings was, I'm not an alcoholic. I just get thirsty a lot. Um, and the other was, I'm not an alcoholic, and I can explain to you what the difference is. An alcoholic needs a drink, and I've already got one. Out there, oh man, I used to keep a bottle of whiskey and shot glasses in my desk at work. And I had another bottle of whiskey in the car. Had a bottle of whiskey in a flask on me. I had a bottle of whiskey at the house. I was never without a drink. I was bad. Yes, please do. In fact, raise like 3 or 4 of them. Me too, Reagan. Me too. Yeah, I hadn't been to a meeting in a long time, Theory. But then when my little puppy died, like that was freaking rough on me. So I did have to go to a meeting for that, for that. In fact, I went to a couple of meetings a day, uh, for a few days. I remember those times, Theory. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, Theory. I'll like when I go out with my team at work somewhere, like I'll have and I'm not a big fan of craft beer, so I don't ever get any craft beer, but like I'll have like a Bud Light. Um, but even with that, like I limit myself to like two to three a month. Unless I'm back home in Utah, then it's like 6 or more. Just figure, you know, like Utah beer versus like everywhere else's beer is it's like a third the beer. Yeah, yeah, so, yeah, Budweiser's good. Fireball is a good whiskey. Yeah, like Utah beer is like 2.3% alcohol. Whereas like everywhere else is like what, like 6 or 7%. It's freaking insane. All right, JLG, have a good night. I'm about to do the same thing. Um, so I'm just gonna mosey on over this way. You guys can stay or leave or whatever. I'm just kidding. But no, I really am 3.5 hours on here. I think that's enough for a live today. I will, however, be back tomorrow while I make that rack right there obsolete.